Hi and welcome back to my channel. You'll have to excuse my voice. I've been full of cold for the last week or so and it's showing no signs of going. So I really want to crack on with these videos because I've had them planned for a really long time, and if I don't get them filmed, I don't know when I'm going to get them filmed. So today I am here with a names video. I absolutely love looking into names, what they mean, where they come from, looking at what people have called their children, that kind of thing. I always have been. I've got quite traditional, I'd like to say easy names for my children. Daisy and Alex, they're names that can't really be shortened too much, easily spelt, can't be shortened into anything strange except for Alex, which I don't mind. But today I thought I would talk about traditional English names. I know I have quite a few American followers on here, so I thought you may find this quite interesting. They're just some that I already knew were English names. I have looked them up just to be sure because there are a bit of a crossover sometimes with different cultures. I'm just going to talk about them, whether I like them, whether I'd use the name or not. Like I've already said, I like traditional names. I do like really unusual, quirky names, but my favourite kind of names are the names that come back in after a period of time. So at the moment, for example, there are a lot of little boys named William, Harry, George, all the names that our grandparents may have been called back 80 years. So anyway, I'm going to start with the boys, and my first name today is Abbott, which means head of a religious community. So a lot of the old English or British names have religious backgrounds, and although I am not a religious person, I have no religious background really whatsoever. The name Abbott I quite like. It is a little bit like a surname, but I don't mind that. I quite like it. I don't know any Abbotts, which makes me like it even more because although it's a traditional name, it's still not very popular. Next one is Adrian. I know quite a few Adrians. So back 30 years, I went to school with a couple of Adrians. It was a name back then, and I know that look back 80, 90 years, it was popular again then. I actually thought this was a Scottish name, but it derives from Latin and that meaning Hadrianus. I think it's a really strong name, really like it, really like, again, you can't really shorten it too much except to Aid or Adi, which again I don't think is a bad thing. The next one, it made me smile a little bit, is Basil. I know a few pets called Basil, but it actually derives from somebody royal. It's short. Again, can't really be shortened. You can see a bit of a pattern going here. I like names that can't be shortened too much, but Basil, I think I really like it. I'm not sure that I'm out there enough to have called my children it, but I think it's a really strong English name. Next one I really love is Clayton, and that means people who lived in a clay settlement. I think Clayton, shortened to Clay, is again another really strong boy's name. It's something a little unusual. I don't know any Claytons, and I've never heard of a Clayton actually, but it's a name that I have liked for a long time. Yeah, I think that's nice, and I think if you're a little bit more trendy but on the traditional side, then that would suit your children perfectly. This another one made me giggle a little bit and I had to put it in here, and that is Garfield. I'm sure all of you, when I say Garfield, think of a certain orange cat cartoon character, but it actually means triangular field. Not sure why you would think to, name somebody after a triangular field, but the name Garfield, I think is quite cool. I don't know. Again, wouldn't call my children it, but I like it. Next one is Maynard, and it means strong and brave. I'm not sure where I sit with this one, whether I like it or not. It reminds me of a couple of brands that are out there, some British brands. I think we have cheese, Maynards. I might be wrong. But yeah, Maynard. What do you think? Would you call your children it? Neville, which means new settlement. Again, I wouldn't call my children it, but that's just my personal opinion. Neville is a name that I would associate with my friends' fathers, so people like in their 60s, perhaps 60s, 70s. I can't see it making a big comeback, but who knows? It's quite a sturdy old name. And my last boy's name is Norman, which is man from the north. Again, when I think Norman, I think of Naughty Norman from Fireman Sam. It's a good name, not one I would choose, but a good old British name nonetheless. So, going over to girls now. I much prefer girls' names. When I had my daughter, I could have named her a couple of times, but when I had Alex, I really struggled. I didn't even particularly love the name Alex at the time. I just couldn't associate a baby with being a boy. It was strange, and much prefer girls' names. Anyway, traditional English names. Agnes, which means pure and holy. I love the name Agnes. I think it is a cute name, it's girly, but at the same time, it's like a strong Agnes name. Couldn't be shortened, which I love. Yeah, it's a good one. Next one is a name that again was really popular when I was at school, so Eleanor, which means bright as the rays of the sun. We had a few Eleanors and we had a couple of Ellens. Again, really pretty name. They were shortened to Ellie when they were small. I can't imagine that they are Ellies now. May well be. But I like that name, and it is a name that I would perhaps choose, like Eleanor Rose, something on those names. And I think when I think of a British girly name, Eleanor is something that pops up into my mind. Next one is Emma. Those of you that know me, one of my best friends is Emma, and I don't think you can get more British than that. What it actually means is eternal and is ever present as the universe. And if you know this particular Emma, then you will know it's pretty true. But again, can't really be shortened too much. It's not too painful, is it? Emma, it's a good old well-rounded name. Next one is Faye, which means the one who is loyal. I love Faye. I think it makes me think of a fair little girl, pretty, like quite timid. I knew a Faye from school and she was all of those things, really beautiful. So Faye, yeah, good name. Next one is Lucy, and again, really good name. It means full of light. So Lucy, you could spell it with a C-Y or a C-I-E at the end. Really not a harmful name, beautiful name. Can't go far wrong with that one. Next is Faith, which means the one who believes in God, which is no big surprise there. Really like it. Not one I would call my children, probably with the religious connotation, but yeah, it's a really good name. Next one, I think those of you who are not from the UK, when I say this name you won't be surprised, and that is Victoria, which means victorious, which you're probably thinking of our Queen Victoria, and it makes me think of someone very strong, powerful, like leads as a woman. I knew a few Victorias, or Vickies as they were known. I love Victoria. I'm not sure on Vicky as one of my children, one of my friends definitely. But yeah, like that one. And this last one is my absolute favourite, and I would name one of my children this, is Enid, which is the one who is fair. And Enid just reminds me of Enid Blyton, so children's books, and it just gives me all those homely feels about, you know, all of those lovely stories. So I hope you've enjoyed those. They've given you some inspiration. I'd love to know your favourite British name. Yeah, and any that I have missed out that aren't, you know, that are like popular or on the rise. So thanks for watching. Bye.